Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 4th December 2020. So let us see which are the important articles from today's newspaper. So yes, these are the articles, a lot of articles for mains as well as prelims examination. So let us see one by one and take input for our examination. First article on page number 6, editorial page. Again, the topic has been in news for quite a time now because of the farmers' protest. Regarding their concerns on the farm laws that has been passed by the government in recent times, and the article is discussing the need to ensure this MSP procurement system for the welfare of the farmers as well as it is also in the favor of government itself, because the obligation under NFSA Act, National Food Security Act of the government, to ensure the food security of the let's say almost 3/4 पॉपुलेशन ऑफ द कंट्री. सो ये सारी चीज़ें इस आर्टिकल में डिस्कस की है. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम GS3 पर्सपेक्टिव. सो लेट अस सी व्हाट इज गिवन इन दिस आर्टिकल. yes, so yes, need of MSP procurement system for both farmers and government. Okay, so why the farmers of Punjab and Haryana are protesting? Why peculiarly from those states? Earlier also we talked about this, but some important facts are mentioned here, like the public distribution system PDS is the lifeline of the states. Farmers in Punjab and Haryana heavily dependent on public procurement and assured price through MSP. How nearly 88% of the paddy production and 70% of the wheat production in Punjab and Haryana has been absorbed through public procurement. In contrast with other such major paddy states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh, only 44% of the rice production is procured by public agencies. So you can understand from that 88% of the rice and 70% of wheat is from the Punjab and Haryana is procured through public procurement system. Okay, जो PDS के through FCI, Food Corporation of India procure करता है. Along with that, how it is in favor of the government, or we can say that how it ensures the government's obligation to be fulfilled. The government needs to continue procurement too. This is because its obligations under PDS and National Food Security Act 2013. So this is very important. Support under NFSA is legal and right based entitlements. So under this National Food Security Act, what is the let's say legal and right based entitlements? It covers almost 50% of urban population and 75% of rural population under subsidized food grains act, subsidized food grains provisions through PDS. Okay, so there are nearly 80 crore NFSA beneficiaries and additional 8 crore migrants who need to be supported under PDS. And now in addition to that, this year due to onset of this coronavirus pandemic, the migrant crisis, the government has earmarked much larger quantities for public distribution. So government needs to procure more this year as well as maybe in future next year also. The government cannot afford to go to the open markets for such procurements. Why? Because this will be a sure recipe for disaster as prices will skyrocket. And with the stock restrictions gone under the recent Essential Commodities Act amendment, there is possibility of large scale hoarding too. So government cannot go to the market for procurement of, let's say, to satisfy this obligation. Rather, government needs to procure under this MSP at the MSP prices, minimum support prices, from the farmers directly through PDS system. Why these states matter? Why these states matter? Because most of the food grains and the infrastructure of FCI is present in these states only. Okay, and therefore they are very important for the government. If government intends to procure such large quantities of food grains, then it needs to turn to these two states, because it is these states which have always been in forefront in supplying food grains to procurement agency. How? Again, important facts. Nearly 35% of the rice and 62% of the wheat procured in the last 3 years has been from these states. So this shows how much let's say these states are important. Almost 62% of wheat from 2 states only. it is clear that dismantling this procurement system is neither in the interest of the farmers nor the government, and therefore it is imperative that government reaches out to the farmers group and assures them that indispensability of MSP procurement system. Okay. Along with that, the article in the end providing, in addition to this MSP procurement system, there is also need to take some other measures like absence of regulatory mechanism to ensure free play by private players vis-a-vis farmers, and lack of transparency in trade area transactions are two major limitations that need to be addressed immediately. Okay. So, in addition to this MSP procurement system, these measures are also required to be taken. So, try to answer this question. MSP procurement system is needed for both farmers as well as government. So, whatever the arguments we talked about in this article directly can be used to answer this question. Okay. So, in examine by writing this, you, in addition to these MSP procurement system, the other improvements that are needed, ये भी आपने वे फॉरवर्ड में लिखना चाहिए. Okay, fine. Next article again on page number 6, personal choices, the constitution's endurance. The context of the article here again, recently the UP government has come up with one of the ordinance wherein it seeks to let's say make those marriages null and void which are solely let's say done on the basis of conversion or religious conversions. So, the article is discussing very good let's say arguments in favor of whatever the Supreme Court judgment was there in Puttaswamy case, जहाँ पे Supreme Court ने बोला था that the personal right to privacy is very much important to ensure the dignity of the people, and how this right to dignity or let's say right to privacy is also ensured in other judgments also. ठीक है, तो पहले के जजमेंट्स जो है वो डिस्कस किए जा रहे हैं. एट द सेम टाइम हाउ द अलाहाबाद कोर्ट रिसेंटली हैज overturned its earlier judgment and ensured this let's say dignity of the people. तो ये सारी चीज़ें इस आर्टिकल में डिस्कस की है. सो वी नीड टू let's say understand them from GS2 polity perspective. Okay, so protecting fundamental rights of right to privacy and freedom of conscience. So, conscience is also a very important aspect of fundamental rights under article, especially article 25. Okay. So, yes, right to privacy. Recently, the Allahabad High Court ruled that the freedom to live with person of one's choice is intrinsic to the fundamental right of life and personal liberty. Now, this fundamental right is under article 21 of the Constitution of India, and this question has been asked in UPC prelims 2029, and this was directly relating to the statement like fundamental right of we can say that a right to have or marry to the persons of one's choice. तो ये कौन से फंडामेंटल राइट में हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हैं, एंड देयर वाज ऑप्शन ऑफ article 19, article 21 and other articles like article 14 I guess. तो दोनों में confusion था 19 और 21 में. So answer was article 21. So this you should be understanding. At the same time, the right to privacy in High Court's order makes it clear that it is neither the province of state nor any other individual to interfere with person's choice of partner or faith. Both. ठीक है. By invoking the Supreme Court's judgment in Puttaswamy case, the High Court held that individual's ability to control vital aspects of her life inheres in her right to privacy, which that is this promise includes the preservation of decisional autonomy on the matters among the other things like personal intimacies, sanctity of family life, marriage, procreation, the home and sexual orientation. So this broad judgment in let's say Puttaswamy case, Supreme Court has ensured the right to privacy, which ultimately ensures the right to dignity of the human beings. So what was this case in UP? So petitioners Salamat Ansari and Priyanka Kharwar had approached the High Court seeking orders to squash first information report that was lodged against them. Okay. However, the state resisted these claims that the marriage was, it argued that Mr. Ansari and Ms. Kharwar's partnership had no sanctity in the law because the conversion with the singular aim of getting married was illegitimate. In making this argument, the government relied on pair of judgments delivered by single judges Allahabad Court, in particular judgment Noor Jahan versus State of UP 2014. Now, in this case, the High Court had held that the conversion by an individual to Islam was valid only when it was predicated on the change of heart and on honest conviction in the tenets of newly adopted religion. Okay. So, on the basis of this, let's say judgment, the UP government has advocated that or resisted the claims of this couple. Okay. However, recently this division bench rejected this theory and held that the judgment in this Noor Jahan was incorrectly delivered. Okay. So, and said that marriage is the matter of choice and every adult woman has fundamental right to choose her own partner. Okay. At the same time, it invoked this Article 25 of the Constitution, which expressly protects the choices of individuals that make in terms of freely professing, practicing and propagating one's religion. At the same time, it guarantees the freedom of conscience, and by the dictionary definition, what is the definition of conscience? It refers to each person's own sense of moral right or wrong. Now, conscience, which is important from ethics perspective, आपको GS 4 पेपर में syllabus topic है like conscience as the source of ethical guidance to the people, and this conscience is the moral compass of the people, the inner voice of the people, which suggests what is right and what is wrong. Okay, and let's say guides person's action in the ethical direction. So, it is an emotion that cannot be judged from outside, right? It is from inside, inner voice. It is certainly not something that the state can examine as the function of its sovereign authority. Okay. So, this is very good statement, you should understand this. Idea of protecting one's freedom conscience goes beyond more consideration of religious faith. This liberty is promised in our constitution because the questions of conscience, which includes choices of faith, are matter of ethical autonomy. Use these statements, a very good statement in this article, because choice of faith is the question or matter of ethical autonomy of the person. Okay. So, the provisions ultimate reason is to allow individuals the freedom to lead their lives as they please. Okay. So, what was, let's say, response to this judgment? The government of UP has introduced an ordinance which makes not only religious conversions that are forcefully obtained an offence, but also declares void any conversion found to be made solely for marriage, जो अभी recently ordinance है. And the state relied on the 1977 Supreme Court judgment in this case, particular case. There the court upheld the grounds of public order, the two earliest anti-conversion statute in India. One was in MP and one was in Odisha, Freedom of Religion Act. So, in the end, in conclusion, it is saying that the bench ruling of Supreme Court in Puttaswamy has recognized that every individual possesses the guaranteed freedom of thought, and that at the core of liberty is rights of the person to decide themselves how they want to lead their lives. This is important statement in Puttaswamy judgment. When we fail to acknowledge and respect most intimate and personal choices that people make, choices of faith, choices of belief, choices of partners, we undermine the most basic principles of dignity. So, this can be directly asked as a question statement itself, like this one. When we fail to acknowledge and respect most intimate personal choices that people make, choices of faith and belief, choices of partners, we undermine the most basic principles of dignity. Discuss with reference to recent developments. So this can be the question in GS2 as well as in your ethics paper GS4. Fine? Okay. Now again very important developments in recent times in terms of IR, page number 6, editorial page. So context of the article here is that the need of USA to re-engage with Iran and whatever the nuclear deal that was signed between P5 plus Germany, this the name of nuclear deal Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. So the US need to re-engage on this let's say nuclear deal with Iran, as we know that the earlier president Donald Trump had withdrawn US out of this deal agreement, and therefore and again the put sanctions on Iran, तो उसकी वजह से जो tensions हो गए थे. So the new president elect Joe Biden, so the recent let's say arguments or the international voice opinions are saying that new president should re-engage with Iran. Okay, and this is let's say beneficial for all such kind of re-engagement. Okay, so US along with other international powers had signed nuclear deal with Iran in 2015. इसको P5+1 ऐसे बोला गया था. So ये जो है permanent 5 of UNSC. Who are these UNSC permanent 5? US, UK, France, China and Russia. So these are permanent 5 plus 1 is Germany. So they had brokered this deal and together and then US and Iran had signed this agreement, nuclear deal. And in this deal Iran had agreed to not or let's say stop its enrichment, nuclear enrichment program, and which threatened not only in let's say Arabian countries through the peace in throughout the world. Okay, so recently Mr. Biden during the campaign promised to take US back to the deal, but any such move would meet with strong opposition from its allies in West Asia, especially Israel. The assassination of Mohsin Fakhrizadeh, the top Iranian nuclear physicist, recently has escalated tensions in the region. Iran has blamed Israel for the attack and vowed to take revenge. So such kind of events, assassination of top personalities of Iran, like earlier also in 2019, one of the let's say US had killed Iranian General Qasim Soleimani in January, sorry, this year only, to 2020, and earlier Iran had shot down the American drone over the Gulf in 2019. So such kind of events had increased the tensions, and when the Trump administration exerted maximum pressure, Iran came up with maximum resistance. So basically here the solution is that Mr. Biden should what you can say, re-engage with Iran on this deal and in diplomatic way try to solve the problems and ease out the tensions. So role of Mr. Biden will have to reassert himself and rein in America's allies from launching more provocative attacks on Iranian regime's figures, and press Tehran to return to the terms of agreement and further talks on country's regional activities in return for economic and security assurances. And on let's say Iran part, what it should do, on Iran on its part should observe the strategic patience and give diplomacy another chance. So use such kind of statements as a way forward when we talk about this tensions between US and Iran relationship. This has bearing on India. So you need to know that after the US had put sanctions on Iran in 2018, what happened is we had to reduce our oil import from Iran because of that. At the same time, we had huge investment in Chabahar port in Iran, and therefore our interests are very much important in Iran, let's say to ensure that the peaceful relations established between US and Iran, right? Okay. Yes, the moral boost for police persons. This is also very good article, especially from ethics perspective. And why? Let's say because see here the question: do you think that public servants working as COVID warriors needs to be motivated through incentives or recognition by the government? Give justification to your view. Such kind of question can be asked in ethics paper. So when we talk about or discuss this, you can take input from this article. The article, though it is discussing only specifically to the police personnel, let's say deputed for COVID-19 duty. So how they are working, let's say are risking their life and ensuring that the duties are delivered or public service spirit is ensured. They are working beyond the officers while doing their duty, and therefore the article is saying that government need to recognize their work through various measures. So let us try to understand. So undoubtedly, apart from the health workers, police have had to bear the brunt of spread of COVID-19. The very nature of their duties, including during lockdown, warrants their interaction with the general public. This exposes them to the possibility of falling to the victim to the virus. Some important facts: according to Indian Police Foundation, of 1.5 lakh police and central police forces, armed police forces personnel who have been tested positive for COVID-19 by the end of October, more than 900 had lost their lives. So this is the authenticated figure. You can use that. Many police personnel get infected when they deal with the crowds while enforcing protocols and interact with the public at police station. Their task becomes more difficult when their colleagues get infected or quarantined, and thus depleting the strength of police on the ground. And therefore, many of them had to put their extra hours of work to compensate for the depletion of strength. At the same time, to protect their family members from getting infected, many of them either do not return to their homes or maintain distance from their near and dear ones. So this is how they are facing, let's say, psychological, physical strain, let's say by working as a COVID warriors in the present times. And therefore, though we can understand that the monetary help to the families of deceased personnel is given by the state government as well as central government, however, this is not sufficient. Okay, because this is, let's say, post facto, डेथ होने के बाद उनको मॉनेटरी हेल्प मिल रहा है, एंड मेनी ऑफ द केसेस हैव बीन देयर दैट मॉनेटरी हेल्प हैज नॉट बीन प्रोवाइडेड, दो दैट हैज बीन क्लेम बाय द सर्वाइवर्स, ठीक है, जो फैमिली मेंबर्स है. However, we need to recognize their work, like for example, central government could recognize their, let's say, services by instituting medal to signify their efforts of many combating the virus. The number of medals on the police person's chest would serve as a moral booster for them. So recognition and incentives, here both aspects are important, but at present incentives in terms of monetary benefits will not be, let's say, should not be the first priority. Why? What happens because of that? Why government cannot provide such incentives? Because government already facing the resource scarcity, we can say that. At the same time, it does not have that much amount of money, and whatever the money it has at present, it needs to be put to strengthen the public health infrastructure. Okay, so for that purpose, we can say that the recognition will surely play a very important aspect to boost the morale of the public servants working as COVID-19 warriors. Okay, so at the same time, the center and state could also reserve jobs for the children of these policemen. Recently, the central government has taken a step in this regard, especially not reserving jobs, rather it has reserved the seats for children in MBBS, government MBBS and BDS colleges. So this is a good step in this direction, we can say that. A high time that the government pay top priority to the health and medical cover of the police and CAPF personnel. So they should be provided health and medical insurance, they and their families. Okay. So in this manner we can understand they should be provided recognition in addition to whatever the monetary help to the families of deceased personnel we are getting. Okay. Next, not using mask flouts fundamental rights, Supreme Court. So yes, this is also very important aspect. People who do not wear mask in public and follow physical distancing norms violate the fundamental rights of the others and people and COVID-19 pandemic. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Supreme Court has said. So this is very important aspect. Why? Because basically the casual nature of the people that are following, so that should not be there. It impinges on the freedom of other people. Okay. तो बाकी लोगों को जो प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है हमारे कैजुअल नेचर से, and because of let's say careless behavior of the people not wearing mask or not following the physical distancing norms in the public places, this has let's say this affects the freedom of other people and therefore fundamental rights of the other people. Supreme Court is saying that. Basically what happened is recently the Gujarat High Court had said that those who are violating such kind of norms, they should be given the let's say community service at the COVID-19 centers, but somehow this is very extreme measure, though the intention was good, and therefore Supreme Court has said that or reversed that order and said that such kind of let's say community service cannot be ordered to those violators. However, it is saying that it is the violation of fundamental rights of the other people. Let me share you one incident that happened with me in recent times. जो यहाँ पे battery operated rickshaws होते हैं, so I was traveling with that battery operated rickshaw, and already 2 people were sitting, though it has capacity of 4. But in general, the people are not let's say following that social distancing norm. So even the educated people, like many students come here to prepare this for this examination, and when the auto rickshaw was let's say moving to my destination, what happened is the other 3 persons or let's say young people or aspirants of this examination wanted to travel in that direction, and they stopped that auto rickshaw. Now auto rickshaw wala, the owner is somehow will look let's say focus on a livelihood option, so he asked to get in, asked those let's say student to get into the auto rickshaw, but somehow I opposed to them and tried to reason out that you should follow social distancing norm, and how can you sit 5 people in that auto rickshaw. So that person or those students who are let's say educated people, they started arguing, we do not have problem, why are you having problem. आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है. तो ये हम सबकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है दैट वी नीड टू फॉलो दोज नॉर्म्स इन लेट्स से फॉर बेनिफिट ऑफ एवरीवन, ठीक है. तो हम और आपकी बात नहीं है, रादर ये सबकी बात है that we need to be a responsible citizen to ensure that to support at least the government efforts or other people who are ensuring those norms, following those norms. तो ये एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन की एक ड्यूटी होती है. फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ में हम ये इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि दैट वॉट एवर द गवर्नमेंट इज आस्किंग अस टू डू, वी नीड टू हैव सच काइंड ऑफ लेट्स से सिविक ड्यूटीज जिसको बोलते हैं, या फिर हम बोलते हैं कि सिविक सेंस जो होना चाहिए लोगों में, वो आजकल कम हो रहा है. एंड वी एज लेट्स से रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन्स, educated persons, we need to spread the awareness among the people about these duties. Also we ourselves needs to follow those duties. Okay, so yes, this is important aspect. Next is convicted legislator cannot be barred for life from polls. Okay. So yes, the central government has told Supreme Court that it rejected the idea of barring convicted legislator from let's say contesting elections, forming or becoming an office bearer of political. So the background here is that the case is based on the plea by the Supreme Court advocate Ashwini Upadhyay, who argued that life ban on conviction should uniformly apply to the members of judiciary, executive and legislature. There should not be any discrimination on one from other. So at present we can understand in executives and judiciary, especially civil servants or public servants, they are barred when any, let's say, conviction happens in any particular case, and let's say for example IPC, money laundering law, foreign exchange violation, UPA or such kind of cases, and they are barred from judiciary and executive. However, for legislature, under this particular act, Representation of People Act, section 8, so whatever the let's say offences enumerated in that, the maximum punishment for them is, let's say, 6 years, and thereafter they are allowed to again run or contest elections. So the plea is saying that they should be barred for lifetime, especially such grave crimes. They are if they are convicted under such grave crimes, they should be barred permanently. Okay, and therefore they should be let's say not for a specific period of time. They should not be barred for such specific period of time, rather for lifetime here. Okay, so there should be equality in such treatment. However, the government is saying that what you can say, the center stand differs from the taken by the election commission, which endorsed the life ban. Even the election commission endorses this life ban. Okay, so why the union law ministry is saying that? It said that the elected representatives of the people cannot be equated to the public servants who are banned for lifetime. Okay, so it is saying that they cannot be equated to the, let's say, public servants who are under, let's say, obligation of throughout the service as the, let's say, servant of the people. Why? Because the ministry, however, countered the legislatures are not bound by specific service conditions. This is the argument. They are bound by their oath to serve citizens and country. They are bound by the proprietary good conscience and interest of the nation, said the affidavit. These are the arguments provided by the government. Further, we will have follow up in future what the Supreme Court has to say about this. Cyclone Burevi hits northern Sri Lanka, 12,000 people affected. So here we will talk about the course of this Cyclone Burevi. You can see here the origin in Bay of Bengal and from eastern to western direction like this. So here you can see the affected region is the northern part of Sri Lanka, or this is, we also talk about Jaffna Peninsula of Sri Lanka, where most of the Tamilians, the Tamilian minority lives in this region, and then somehow the southern part of Tamil Nadu will get affected. Okay, so major aspect of this cyclone was, will Cyclone Burevi become as strong as Cyclone Nivar recently struck in this region of let's say Tamil Nadu coast and Puducherry and Andhra Pradesh coast. So the scientists say that it will not be as strong as Cyclone Nivar due to upwelling. Due to upwelling caused by Nivar, Cyclone Burevi will have limited intensity. When such consecutive systems developed in the same region in the ocean, okay, low pressure system, the predecessor system leads to upwelling. Now what is this upwelling? The process in which the cooler waters from lower ocean surfaces are pushed upward up in the, let's say, surfaces, ocean surfaces. The absence of warm sea water conditions, any cyclone, in this case Burevi, will not get enough fuel to intensify further at the sea. So already we had discussed the basics about tropical cyclone. The energy supply to any tropical cyclone is from the, let's say, warm surface temperatures or warm surface water of ocean, and therefore that is somehow reduced because of this upwelling phenomenon, and that's why the simultaneous development of such kind of system, the later developed depression will not, let's say, be as strong as the earlier one. Okay, तो ये आपको ज्योग्राफी में कंसेप्चुअली चीजें पता होनी चाहिए. Fine. Okay, so finally some important captions and quotations. So this can be used, a very good statement that can be used in ethics paper. Definition of conscience and its significance. At the same time, here how do we need to ensure the dignity of people. So this can be used in GS4 ethics paper, GS2 also, at the same time essay. So try to use such kind of statements, very important statements for our examination, mains examination. Fine. So these were the articles, important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of all these mains related articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.